Hey guys, Dan Hood, Big DH 2000 here. Just did a few repairs on the table saw. Let's take a look. Okay, down in there are some bearings. I replaced those. So now you can listen. Almost no sound at all. Funny thing is if you look, that saw fits perfectly, right? Well, before it didn't, and it was really close to this edge, and every once in a while it would rub. And that was because it had the wrong washers on it. Turns out another table saw I'm going to show you in a minute that I repaired had the correct ones for this, and the ones that were on this one belonged on that one. But let's go talk about this side a little bit. Okay, you can see that the way you tension the pulley is you loosen this and then you go up and down. And the problem is that the tension on this changes when you lift and lower the saw. So what I got was one of these little hand ratchets with the correct thing, right? You just loosen and tighten. Let's go to the other one. Okay, got this table saw from my buddy John. Refurbished it a bit. One problem was it had the wrong washers on the blade. So whoever had the original plate cut it a bit to make everything fit. Well, I bought the correct plate from somebody else and found out things didn't line up, but the washers that belong on this were actually on my other saw. So I brought those over here, and I took the washers that were on this that belonged to my other saw and put them over there. So now everything lines up. Here you go. You can see. See? Lines up nice and tight and perfect. Now, something I will tell you, okay? If you do have a blade, you always want it a little closer to this side, because this is the side you put the ripping guard on. Okay? Let me put up the ripping guard. Here's the ripping guard, ripping fence. Everybody calls it something a little different. You always put it on this side, or I do for the most part, put it on this side. And that way you got the clean cut near the tightest side of the slot. Okay? Now let's move this out of the way. Clean this all up. Now this is an interesting one. Let me get down here and show you why. It doesn't have a belt. It actually has a flexible axis. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this thing on. You can watch it. The flexible axis moves a lot. And as you can hear, I cleaned the bearings on this one, put them back together. And hang on one second. And just like magic, here's the bearing puller. Okay, you tighten this around, and then you put these in it. You put this on it, and then you stick that in, and then you just slowly push the axle out of the bearing. These run about $50 at Harbor Freight. They're great if you're going to refurbish tools. And then when you want to put the bearing out, all you do, drill the correct diameter hole in a piece of wood to the depth you want, slide it down, and pound with a hammer. Okay? And yeah, everything's cleaned, oiled, greased, ready to go. John, I hope you're proud of this saw. It definitely works well. And then I always add sawdust bags, folks. I can't tell you how useful these things are. Anyway, 2 of them running.